What's good, y'all? It is game time. 216. I am your host, Bobby G, on the microphone, and it's beautiful. I've been away for a while, but now I'm back, giving you all that Cleveland news and action. So, sorry if you miss me, but I'm here to stay now. So, on this special occasion, I do have some company, and we're going to get right to it because time is money, and this man's time is worth plenty. Joining me today on my first day back to talk some Guardians baseball is my guy, Sammy Game Time, Mr. First Down himself, repping the Guardians from the hotbed of sports, which is Tennessee. How you doing, Sammy? What's going on, man?
I'm good, man. The out-of-state baseball fan, just living the dream, man. Living the dream. Boy, that
Absolutely.
intro
Love it. Love
slapped.
it.
I was bouncing along with that. I was like, dang, it's got really hard.
Oh, the video? Yeah, hey, man, I whipped it up in like 3 minutes. Hey, did what I could do.
It works. It works. It works.
But appreciate you for joining me. And yeah, out-of-state fans are the best because it shows people, joke him, no, I'm not talking about anybody specific, who think that Cleveland is just this. No, man, Cleveland is cool, bro. Like, Cleveland has a lot going on, especially, I would definitely rate it in the top 5 of sports towns in the USA easily. But
easily.
Yeah, you got life going on, and I know you got things to get to, so we can get right to it. Why I brought you here, you repping the Guardians. We see the gear from head to toe, and that's what we're going to talk about. MLB deadline just passed. Guardians this season, I don't think at the beginning people expected a lot, but guess what? They surprised us, and right now they are definitely a contender. We'll say for the pennant at a minimum. We won't say the 2 words that everybody wants to hear, but they are definitely a contending team. Very competitive in the American League. I think as of right now, they do have the best winning percentage in the American League, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
they may not
that
have
is
the most wins, but they have the best winning percentage.
Right.
Coming off a series not too long ago, took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, best team in baseball. Very promising. For the first time in team history, had the number 1 overall pick in the draft. A lot of people excited to see Mr. Bazzana, Travis Bazzana.
I've been calling him Bazzana. No one's corrected me yet. So that's how until somebody says otherwise, I'm just going to be like, all right, Bazzana.
So a lot of things going on for the Guardians, but like every team, we had our issues. People all year, most people think we needed another arm in the starting lineup, and potentially another bullpen arm, and definitely needed another bat in the lineup, preferably at either shortstop or right field, maybe even center field. That's kind of been our 3 areas of concern, if you will. They make a move. I believe it was Sunday night. We make the move for Lane Thomas. For the Nationals, cover right field, had I think career year last season. This year, not on the same pace as last season, but still better bat than the guys we had. Better defensively, that's the big thing.
That was a big get. People kind of undersold it, but that was a big get for this team that desperately needed some help there. So I love it.
Like I said, I'm not a fair weather fan because the only team I root for is my Guardians. But I'm only paying attention if they winning. If they not winning, I'm watching something else.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get that sentiment. I mean, and to be fair, I didn't know much about the guy until I looked him up. So it wasn't like I have this encyclopedia of players all in my head. I'm like, huh? And then I have to Google search. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm okay. This is good. This is a good get. Yeah.
Absolutely. And at the deadline, let's go ahead and transition to that Guardian screen right here. There we go. That beautiful.
Hey, beautiful. Look at
At the I don't know if it was at the deadline, but on deadline day,
Pretty
they
close.
finally
Yeah.
they finally make a move for a pitcher, Alex
Finally.
Cobb, and
Mm-hmm.
we got something on here. Let's get this. There we go.
Oh, hey, there we go. Look at that.
Yep.
Fancy. Yeah, I
Welcome
like
to
that.
Cleveland, guys.
Yeah. Welcome to
Um,
Believe Land, boys.
Absolutely. Now, again, like you and Kyle, I thought that was a good move after further research. Like I said, I'm not the hugest baseball fan, but I liked what I
Sure.
saw when I looked him up. Alex
Right.
Cobb, though,
Yeah.
not only probably not being the guy that most people were thinking about, but I
But,
mean, 36 years old. He'll be 37 by the time the postseason hits. He will
yes.
be a free agent following the season. Uh,
Yes.
he has not pitched a game this season yet because he had hip surgery in the offseason. And the cherry on top, he currently has a blister on his finger preventing him from being available for probably the next week. So, like, uh, that doesn't get me excited, man. You definitely being a more thorough baseball fan than I am, educate me. And am I concerned? Am I happy? Am I like what should be going through my mind with that
Well,
specific trade?
well, we both know that they were looking at other people. Were not making it for whatever reason. The White House with Fetty and all that. Or White House, White Sox with too much news reading for me. I'm broken. So the White Sox and Fetty, White Sox and Guardians don't like each other. They hardly ever have.
True.
Jose Ramirez has to fight. It's in his
Yeah,
contract. He has to fight at least once
absolutely.
with the White Sox, or like absolutely crush their dreams. Um, so I think they kind of looked at it like, no, I'm not helping you, and then they sent him to what, the Dodgers, right? I think by
Yeah.
it, but there was talk, and I was reading in the Athletic, they were looking around for other pitchers as well, and were getting a lot of doors shut in their face. So
Okay.
they did the move for Alex Cobb. And then the big thing about Alex Cobb, it says "when healthy," which is not the words you
It's
want to
not
see.
what you want to hear.
It's not what you want to hear. It's not what you want to hear. But this bullpen does need their help, and it's so funny because I think we've talked about this before. The national media's narrative, when the Guardians were on a 9-game winning streak, they said, "Oh my gosh, this is the best bullpen in baseball." Any Guardians
Mm-hmm.
fan worth their salt knew that that wasn't true by a long shot. Anybody with Cookie Carrasco and oh geez, I can't remember. He's not there right now, thank God. Tristan McKenzie.
Oh, Tristan. Yeah, Tristan. What, dude? Go get surgery. Go get the surgery, dude.
Yeah, dude, stop it. But
Yeah,
we had them in their lineup, and they were costing games, and
exactly.
they kept saying this is the best bullpen. I'm like, why? Why do you believe that? If we are the best bullpen in baseball, then every other's bullpen is really bad. Everybody
Well, I
else's
think what they're
bullpen,
saying is, I think they're discounting the starters. They're just
right?
saying, just strictly relievers, which I could agree with. Our relievers have done a pretty good job this season. They've kept me, but yeah,
Uh huh.
100% on board with you. Yeah, Tristan was obviously it was a shame to lose Bieber.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tristan, do go get surgery. Like you're pitching your way out of the majors.
Yes, and Carrasco just needs to retire. There's not a lot left. There's just not a lot left on. There's not a lot of meat left on the bone. But hey, hats off though this season, Tanner Bybee. He really took charge of
Yeah,
that bullpen, and he goes out there and he'll go as hard as he can for as long as he can. Phrasing, and but man, he has been just absolutely wonderful when they needed him most. He has appeared and done what he has had to do. But the bullpen's been interesting. At first, I was thinking like, okay, it's Tanner Bybee and Logan Allen, and then Logan Allen
right,
wasn't really like. And the next thing you know, Ben Lively steps up to the plate, and he does well.
right. Ben, he's
And
having an excellent season.
he's having a great season. So it was great to have some, because they desperately needed somebody to step up and fill the void there in that bullpen. And it's Tanner Bybee, Ben Lively. Geez, who else is there? Who am I missing? I don't want to miss anybody. I'll embarrass myself. Uh,
In the bullpen or starting rotation?
I'm just
Oh,
looking at the starting.
Williams,
Williams. Yep.
Gavin Williams. He's been his last couple of starts been pretty decent. He started the season on the injured list.
I tell you, my favorite guy, because he would look just like me if he was on the mound, is Nick Sandlin. Nick Sandlin looks like he's about to vomit every time he walk, and he'll strike a guy out, and he's just like walking to the bullpen like, you know. And I was like, yeah, I look sick too if I'm about to pitch some craziness out there.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about this team, and not just pitching, but everybody else, you can
Okay.
literally hear Bonnie Tyler's hit from the '80s. "I Need a Hero" playing when they need somebody. Somebody shows up, and it can be anybody,
Hmm.
absolutely anybody. I mean, we have Stephen Kwan hitting home runs now. What in the
Exactly.
world? Yeah,
Exactly.
when they have to have it now, you get bases loaded. Nobody can hit anything in this team. But if you, like I told you, if you get two outs, two
Yep.
strikes with two people on base, oh, somebody's knocking a homer, and it almost never fails. Somebody is digging them out of trouble. Um, but this team, I love the way Vought is coaching them. I hope they
Okay.
continue success because he's got to be manager of the year. He's got to be. If they keep winning like this and staying ahead and just with the same roster, mostly the same roster from last year, and you're making it work. You
Right.
are making it work one way or another, and it's been fun to watch. It's been absolutely fun to
Absolutely.
watch.
It
But
makes you
Alex,
wonder, and I got a question for because it makes you wonder as a fan. Like
mm-hmm.
Tito's fantastic, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Um, you could argue he could be the best manager in the history of Cleveland baseball.
Yes.
Um, with what this roster has shown, did we kind of hang on to him too long though?
See, that's a hard. Oh,
Because I
I
mean,
mean,
his way of station to station baseball, yeah, the roster kind
mhm.
of fit that, but it was to me it was like low risk or like low risk, low reward almost.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
with Voight, it's high risk, but it's high rewards. He's got again, like you said, exact same roster, just different
Mhm.
philosophies in managing. And look at the results. It's like a 180-degree difference.
I think the difference is Tito, and you see this with coaches, not just in baseball,
Right.
all over any sportsman. You get in your lane, and you find that lane to be successful, and you're going to stick to
Mm-hmm.
it. We see these guys in football all the time. These coaches that are like, hey, this is won this many games or whatever. It's good
All
cooking,
right.
whatever. And you guys just have to run my system like Kyle Shanahan, my system, my system, my system, my system.
Exactly.
And I feel like Tito kind of fell into that. Like, hey, this is what works, and even if it's a bad season, that's fine. We'll get after him again. Where I think Vogt looked at the personnel he had and he said, "All right, I dare you to try to stop us. I dare you." Like, and they go at teams. That's their job.
Okay.
They're going to make you nervous. You have Stephen Kwan who keeps getting on base over and over and over again, and it's these guys have really answered his challenge to them, and it's working. And hats off to the guy. I really think if this keeps up, can you imagine next season they do it again, and the season after that they're
Right.
going to be a powerhouse in the AL Central. When's the last time we got to say that? A powerhouse in the AL Central.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and then and now you beat up on Detroit again. They've won one series against you. You've taken two against them. And
Right.
this team they win the games they really need to win. And you're going against the Orioles. By the way, last time they played the Orioles, it was like playoff atmosphere.
Oh
They
yeah,
they were getting
that was a great series.
oh yeah, and now they're about to start up again. So
Mm-hmm.
this is big time. They need to win these games and show the world that they are a contender. And as much as MLB hates to talk about them, and they do, they cannot deny that these guys have found lightning in a bottle.
Right.
They're just making it work.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. Definitely fun when coming against Baltimore. Matter of fact, this is a month though. If MLB hasn't talked on about them on a national level, they definitely will this month. I think we only have one series, and that's against the Cubs in August against a team below 500. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of quality baseball should be
Make
played
sure you
this
tell
month.
Nick that. Make sure you tell Nick that.
Bodkins, shout out to Bodkins. What's happening, Brody? Uh, Now, let me ask you this, and again, I'm uneducated on baseball rules, and maybe you know, maybe you don't. uh, our draft pick, first overall, first second baseman in the history of baseball to be taken number one. If I remember hearing that correctly. Um,
I believe that's correct. Yes.
a lot of people excited about him. Now, how does this work? I'm hearing he wants to be on the playoff roster. How do baseball rules like is it possible we could see him at it? Like what's the whole thing with being able to bring him up to the majors and like not counting against his rookie year, quote unquote? Like how's all that work?
Right. I believe he has to spend the amount of time on one of the minor league teams. I thought was the rule, but I could be totally
Okay,
wrong about that. I know that he can't just be inserted right away. I'd
okay.
have to look it up.
There's
How
something.
soon?
What happens? What is it with September? Everybody keeps talking about September. I guess there's a period in
Right.
September where like rookies can come up for a couple weeks or prior to the playoff roster being finalized. I know people are talking about getting him up for that period. He's down. I think they started him off in Double A, if I'm not mistaken. And he's down there at I don't say killing it,
Yeah.
but looking good to say the least. Looking
Right.
good.
Unlike top
Um,
draft picks in the NHL, NBA, and NFL, all of whom are expected to make immediate impacts, top
right.
MLB draftees are nearly always assigned to the minor leagues for several years to hone their skills, usually at low levels. Due to this, fans cannot see the newly drafted players perform immediately, causing them, let's see, the yeah, it doesn't look like you'll be able to see them at the season, but it doesn't give me a definitive rule. Rather, they could come up
Right.
or not. Maybe they
Right.
can in September. I'm not exactly sure. By the way, this thing goes on for like pages and pages. When I
Oh
was
yeah.
reading it, and I was
Yeah.
like, we're not gonna do that.
That's
So,
absolutely like for people who've
I
never like looked up an actual rule in the league's
right.
rule book. Man, there's
Oh
so
yeah,
many
I have
six
them. I
pages
have them
on
all.
traveling.
I have them all saved on my Chromebook over here, and sometimes I look at it and
Nice.
I'm like, "Good God, who can read this thing? Like, this is awful." Uh, but it looks like you're going to have to wait. Probably, maybe they can bring him in September. It looks like that's happened several times before, but it happened in the 2000s. I don't know if the rules changed
Okay.
since then, so
All
I'm
right.
not exactly sure.
All right.
Maybe I need
But
to read
let
the
me.
report.
Hey, we all need a refresher sometimes.
Yeah,
Let me
that's
get this out of you. Um, the one thing that I don't like that I've been seeing lately, and it happens more in baseball, probably any other sport, the juggling of the lineup when people are healthy.
hmm
Like
I don't
Daniel,
like it.
I love Daniel. I love Daniel Schneeman. You don't like Schneeman? I like Schneeman. I don't like him at shortstop. I've watched this
Right,
dude throw
me neither.
away 4 or 5 balls into the dugout.
Yeah,
Like, stop it. Stop putting him there.
it's
Uh,
like when they changed the catcher. It's like,
yeah,
oh goodness gracious, and like Bo Naylor is the catcher of this team. Stop
right.
changing it. Stop making Stephen Fry do it or Freeman. It just
That's I like Fryer catch. There was a while I wanted him to be there for because Bo Nate like his bat just picked up over the last probably like month and a half.
it did.
But
Yeah, it took him
yeah,
a while.
he stunk.
Yo, he was horrible. He'd go out there, and I'm like, "Well, we're not winning." Like the game was on the line. And then there was one time I want to say a couple of months ago. I can't remember who it was against, but he hit a grand slam, and I said,
Yeah,
"Oh well." I felt like Bruce Willis and Die Hard. Welcome to the party, pal. Like
right,
what a time to show up. Appreciate you. You know.
right. Do you think that shuffling was more of just kind of showing off guys for potential trades, or or they
I think
really just kind of searching to see who's going to fill what role?
I think you sir Voight seems the type. I can't. I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but they're never going to answer these kinds of things. They
Right.
just not. The way that Vought operates, I think he. I keep calling him Vote Vought. I can never figure out what his real name is. I think it's Vote. So the way a Vote operates
Mm-hmm.
is he seems to be like, I'm going to try this guy here to see how well he does. I want to try
Okay.
this guy here. Yeah, I don't think it's anything really crazy though. I think he does get pretty angry at Ramirez when he makes a bonehead play at shortstop, and like he doesn't make many of them, but when he does, he's just like, like you can just see
Yeah.
him still over
Or
there. Mr.
Arias.
Cody
Arias was oh my goodness, man. Just such a Arias was terrible. What's Rokio? I'm not a fan of
Rokia.
Rokio.
No.
Not a fan of Rokio.
Yeah,
And
I
like,
am a huge fan of Jimenez. Jimenez does his job. That
yeah,
at second base, he is the does his job.
yeah. And
But yeah,
according
Rokia.
to the rumors, that'll be him next. I guess next season we won't have to worry
Mm,
about that because I guess the plan is to bring Bazana in as second base and move him in as short.
right, and maybe that would be best served. Jimenez is golden wherever you need him. Like if you need
Yeah,
Quan is always in the outfield and he's always fantastic. Jimenez is always in the infield. He is always fantastic. Very few errors on each of their plate. It just drives you crazy when you see like first of all, Chunky Boys Unite. I love me some Josh Naylor. Everyone should love Josh Naylor. But sometimes he's at first base, and it's like he forgets he's playing first base, and it's like step on the base, step on the base. Like it's like Clase. We all love Clase. He
oh
finishes
yeah,
strong. He's gorgeous. But sometimes
absolutely.
it's like he's amazed somebody hits one of his pitches, and he just
Yeah,
forgets what to do. And Josh Naylor's like clapping his glove at him, like give the ball to me. He almost cost us a game once because I remember the guy hit it, and Clase went and grabbed it, and Josh was like, "Give it to me," and he kind of goes over there and he throws it over Josh's head, like, "Oh, it was just horrible." And I love Clase, but it's like he's too amazed when somebody hits the ball. Now he has to
yeah.
think. He can't just he can't hum 106 mile per hour fastball at somebody. It's so
The
funny.
only thing I don't like about Naylor though is can we get this dude a helmet that fits? Every time he swings, his freaking helmet goes flying. Like, bruh.
It
Yeah,
spins
like,
off
dude,
every time. Every
every
time.
time.
He's got a weird shaped head too. He's got that
Yeah,
stupid haircut with the sweatband. So it's like, you know, he's like it's a smaller Weird Al thing going on. It's just like, it's just kind of put together. I want to call him Bart Simpson.
there
But
you go.
I don't know how to
And
put
Angel Martinez, or Angel Martinez is dealing with this. Dude, get some helmets that, or take the stupid chin thing off. Take the chin
yeah,
protector off. Like, come on, we gotta
yeah.
do something though. Keep that helmet on, man. I will give
I do.
Naylor credit for one thing. He has the best cleat game on the squad.
Oh yeah, no,
He's got the best
100%.
cleat game on the squad. So
My
I
boy
guess
looks fresh
that'll make
when he
up
walks
for
out
it.
there. Yeah, no, it
Uh,
got to be. You know what else makes up for it? Hitting a home run when Ramirez does it. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes, that does too. And his
Uh,
improvement against lefties has been drastic
it's been
over the
great.
last few seasons. Yeah, it's been definitely appreciated.
By the way, I love
corners before
Jose
you get out.
Ramirez. For everybody watching, I love Jose Ramirez. I'm just saying, the
Absolutely.
guy,
Oh,
the guy
he's
calls down a lot of smoke. He calls
yeah.
a lot of smoke on himself, and when you don't deliver, sorry, pal, that's how it is. I mean, that's just the way. You want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So sorry,
Potential playoff roster. Like
this
who
is
could you see
amazingly.
making it, or who do you see stand? Like a lot of guys have been. Angel Martinez, despite the helmet, he's looked pretty decent. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure he's going to be the regular center fielder from now till
I
the
think
rest of the
so.
season.
I
Big
think so.
Christmas, probably my favorite nickname
Well,
right now. Yeah,
oh
Big Christmas,
well,
Jonkiski
oh
Noel.
well. Yeah, I
With the
love him.
addition of Lane now, is he gonna make it? Uh,
I want to.
like who do
I
you
want to
see
think.
making? Who do you see not making the playoff roster?
Well, I have to look at it. I really want Big Christmas to stick around. I really
Okay.
do. I think they kind of uh, homegrown this boy. Baseball free agency is a tricky thing,
Hmm.
right? Like you want them to keep Josh Naylor because Josh, more times than not, can get you on base or hit a homer. Uh,
Right.
but at the same time, isn't it time to look at the younger guy and Noel? Isn't it time? At least I think he's younger. I think he is. Yeah. So it's time. You have to believe when you're bringing these guys up that
Right.
they are eventually going to take the place of these guys. But the
Hmm.
the trick is knowing when to do it and when not to do it. Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing in football. Should we re-sign DeAndre Hopkins? I couldn't tell you. I would love
Right.
to. But I don't know. Like that's just kind of how it is. In baseball, it's a little trickier because it's like I like these old hands sticking around, but are they sticking around too long? That's
Yeah.
that's the name of the game.
For the
So
people to cause no confusion, yes, we are talking Guardians. Yes,
yes,
Sam is a Guardians fan.
sorry,
But the
sorry.
DeAndre Hopkins reference, remember, he's from Tennessee, so he's also a Titans fan.
I'm very.
Boo.
Boo boo him. Boo that man.
So you're gonna cause this frantic excitement. Wait a minute, the Browns got DeAndre Hopkins. When did we do
No,
that?
no, I'm sorry. I'm
We
sorry.
don't
Guardians.
want that
Guardians.
to happen.
I'm wearing the merch. So let's talk about Will Levis. No, I'm just kidding. Have you seen a certain sex tape? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, different podcast. We'll see that later.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Tune
sorry.
in.
I'm
Tune in.
sorry. Let me turn the page
That's
over.
game time after dark.
That would be awesome. I'm like, what are you watching so late at night? Mind your business. I need this in my life.
What about a guy like Manzardo? You know that they called him up earlier. He has some struggles. Does he get another look before the playoffs begin?
I don't think so. I don't. I'll be honest. I think Manzardo got called up a little too early.
Okay.
I don't think he's not hitting the ball as often as I would like him to. For
Okay.
somebody that's supposed to be a pretty good hitter, I don't think he's a pretty good hitter. I think plus his mustache. That mustache is
Yeah, I'm not a
horrendous.
fan of the stash.
Ooh, it's rough. If
He's
you're
got the
if
Ron
you
Jeremy.
there's only one mustache, and that belongs to Tom Selleck and Magnum PI. Okay, he was the only one that could get away with it. All of this stuff, even Steve Harvey. Yeah, I'll take Steve Harvey's
Yeah,
mustache
Steve
too.
Harvey. Yeah, he rocks it.
He grows a great mustache. But those two gentlemen, that's it. I haven't seen one that's worth its salt. But man, to answer your question, Manzardo's not hitting it well enough for me. I don't think he's going to be on
Okay.
it.
But do you think he gets another look?
No, no. I think
Okay.
they let him go. I think they let. I think you can do better. I think you can do
I
better.
think that he rides it out in the minors and until
Yeah, I
'cause
think
I'm going to assume that the plan is because probably the biggest decision for the franchise in the offseason is would be Josh Naylor.
Yes.
Whether
Please,
to pay
please
him
resign him.
or right. And
I've got brothers here. You know.
that, yeah. But yeah, you have to make it's either going to be Manzardo at first next season or you pay Josh Naylor. And I don't think he's looking to take that same hometown discount that J Ram did. So
No.
he could. I'm not sure, but he looks to be in the maybe 15 to 18 million a year range type player.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Oh, it makes me sad. I really want him to stay because I love Josh Naylor's energy,
Yeah,
um, but once again, if you can do better. But I don't know if
yeah,
Manzardo is the answer there. If Manzardo hit a lot better, I would be overjoyed. But
right.
Josh Naylor
It just
hits really
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
and he hasn't shown the prowess that other like John Kesey's been he like even if you don't like regardless of what you think like you've seen they've shown you
mm,
I can crush one in this league. Same with Schneeman.
right,
You know these guys have shown you they can do it. Angel Martinez, but yeah, Manzardo, and he was the highly touted one. I heard
yeah,
more about
well, yeah,
him than any
most
of these
of
other
everybody.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah, like I got ready for the season, and like one of the first stories that popped up on the athletic was Manzardo. When is it time for Manzardo? Like right out the
right.
gate, and I'm like, gee, guys, I don't know. Like, let's see. And when they brought him up, I was like, all right, kid, let's see what you could do. And then the next game, and the next game, and the next game, and the next game, and the
Yep.
next game. And I never really saw anything that I was like, I mean, Big
Yeah,
Christmas
he
has looked better than he has. So
absolutely.
what? And so, like to me, it's just like, no, put him in the minors, let him rest.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be better later or whatnot. But please resign Josh Naylor. Now you made that pit in my stomach come back. Ugh. Please resign him. I
All
don't know.
right. I know we got. I know we got to
Watch
get you out of here.
watch him go to the White Sox or something just to hurt me, just to hurt me. Oh, anyway.
But I know we got to get you out of here. So before you go, how does the season play out? How do you see the season playing out?
I think they're going to take the AL Central without a doubt. I
Yeah.
think they're going to take it. I don't think anybody's going to catch them. That people love, especially national media, because they just don't like the Guardians. They want the Twins to get there. They want them to get there so bad, but they just don't. Pound for pound, they don't have the firepower to do it. They don't
Okay.
have it. So I think they're going to take the AL Central, and gosh, you've got then you got to go toe to toe with probably what the Yankees if they can get back on track here, something along those lines. Because I get tired of Yankees fans. They're like, "Oh, good, Cleveland, quick out," or whatever. And I get mad
Yeah.
because most of the time they're right. We just get whipped and thrown off to the side.
I mean,
Thanks for
not really though. Not really. I had a debate with a guy that you could argue that since the mid '90s, that Cleveland has actually been the biggest rival to the Yankees.
I would agree in the playoffs, especially. Yeah,
Yes,
they
in the
just
playoffs. In the
go toe to
playoffs.
toe. They go toe to toe, and we only played them once in the beginning of the season. They got the best of us, and
Yeah.
I wanted that game so bad, but they seem to have our number in the playoffs. If this team gets by the Yankees, I'm really going to start. The Believe Land's going to come alive in me. I'm going
Yeah.
to because that's a hurdle to me. That
Mm-hmm.
that team lives rent free in your head. You have to throw them off some way somehow.
Absolutely. Especially if we
Uh,
can secure that number one seed and get the bye, that would
right.
be and
That
yeah,
would be
absolutely.
fantastic. But they've got to finish strong here. And gentlemen, if you're somehow watching this, and you should, Bobby G is a good watch. You
I
have to
appreciate it,
win
bro.
these games. You have
Yeah.
to win these games. Like, don't
Yeah.
let another one of these like Detroit Tiger games go by without
Right.
you making a hit or something like that. That's pathetic. Like, win
Absolutely. Not, yeah.
win these games. Like, I don't know how you have to do it. And I know you're going to drop one every now and then, but you guys go on
Mm-hmm.
these streaks sometime that just make my head hurt. And it's like, you're a better team than this. I know you're a better team than this. And also, if bases are loaded, hit somebody home for the love of God. Please, please. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's I think it's going to play out that this team reaches the playoffs. I don't know after they get by the Yankees, which I think any Guardians fan really wants. After they get by the Yankees, then I need to see who they're going up against for me to really make a diagnosis. It ain't gonna be the Braves though. Anyway, I live in the South. They're the South's team. I hear them
Hey,
all the time.
I mean, and hey, Cleveland had a few run-ins with the Braves back in the day, so it's all good.
Yeah, I know
But
people are like, they're not our rival, but I'm like, they're my rival. They're my
yeah.
rival.
All right, Sam. Definitely appreciate you coming on. I know you got life to take care of.
Yep.
Wishing you well, wishing the family well, and probably look to have
But
you back as the playoffs get closer.
and
And
football. Hmm?
oh yeah, definitely have your own football
I'll
season.
go full
Did you play?
regalia
Have you
for you.
played the
I'll go
Titans?
triple boa. I'll go triple boa and the light up necklace that's way too heavy. If that's what you want. The thing's a
Hey,
monster.
hey, I guaranteed book it. We'll get you on with all of that. But go take care of the family, man, and we will definitely look forward to seeing you in the future, bro.
I look forward to it too, Bobby. Take care, big man.
You too. Peace, bro.
See you.
That was my guy, Sam Dean, Mr. First Down. Definitely appreciative of him joining us today to fill in with all the baseball knowledge that I do not know. Now let's get back to me just ranting. Trade deadline. Most of the talking heads on TV are giving it their approval. For me, I'm just not as sure. Like, why do you trade? Why trade for an injured guy? Like, he's got to come in. I know he's had some success. I won't say success, but he's been doing well in the minors and rehab starts. But again, he got the blister. We won't see him for about another week on the mound for the Guardians. Um, I'm not sold on the move, the pitching move. Lane Thomas, I can get into that. Um, just not sold on Cobb. Um, and I do believe this team can compete for a championship. And I would just like this is one of those moments where I would love if Dan Gilbert owned the Guardians, or I would love if the Haslam's owned the Guardians right now. These owners aren't afraid to put money in. The Dolans, like, stop being afraid to put money in. Like, you literally have, uh, not even in baseball. I believe we have one of the top five front offices in all of sports on the Guardians. These guys know what they're doing. They scout well. They draft well. Uh, from a pitching standpoint, we I think we produce more Cy Young winners than like any team in baseball over the last 10 to 15 years. And all we do is bring these guys up so they can go play for other teams. Uh, I'd like to stop seeing that. We've remained competitive despite that, and to bring it home, it takes a little blata, you know. Just put a couple extra dollars on the payroll and stop. Let don't let small pockets. I don't want to say small pockets because at the end of the day, it's still a billionaire family, so they got deep pockets. But you know, don't be a miser. Don't pinch pennies. Don't let your penny pinchings cost the city of Cleveland the championship. We Cleveland fans are hungry. 2016 is getting further and further away. We're losing that taste. You know, that food. The hunger's coming back. We need another parade. Like we saw what the Cavs parade looked like. I'm sure the Indians can compete with it. And Lord knows a Browns parade. I don't care what time of year it is. Winter, it could be 20 minus 20 below. There'll be about 5 million people in Cleveland that day. But Indians, come on, man, get it together. Don't spend some money, man. Don't let these years go by. But yeah, shout out to the Guardians. They did make a couple of moves, which I think is what most people wanted at the minimum. Just do something. They did something. Shout out to the guys. Welcome to Cleveland, and I'm hoping for the best because I'm enjoying this baseball season. I'm enjoying watching the team. Shout out to J Ram, as a matter of fact. Just passed Albert Bell for second on the all-time home run list. He will probably be on the Mount Rushmore of Guardians/Indians players one day, if he's not already. I think I might have to put him on mine, especially with what he did in taking that contract. He's the original Jalen Brunson. Everybody's excited because Jalen Brunson took a deal with the Knicks. Now J Ram did it first. He left 100 mil on the table to remain a Guardian. So congratulations to him on that feat. And I think probably by the time the season's over, he'll need about just over 80 home runs to take over Jim Thome for number one. So it'll be fun over the next couple of seasons watching him chase that milestone. So yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to the Guardians. I hope they continue to do well. It looks like they're getting off of the slump. They haven't been playing well for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Fortunately for them, neither have teams above them in the standings. The Yankees hit a little slide. Orioles hit a little slide. So they didn't lose any ground at the top of the AL. And they didn't lose any ground to the Twins, who also hit a little slide. Now the Royals are starting to come on. But it looks like we're back to our winning ways. So let's go Guardians. Hey, let's get this gun. Let's wrap things up. The earlier the better. But they do have a tough month coming up. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk. Training camp getting going. Training camp's opening. Been going for about a week now. A little over a week. Tomorrow night, football officially starts. Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. I know, people say the preseason don't mean nothing, but watch how many your eyes are glued to the screen. And I believe the Hall of Fame game, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Texans and the Bears. Correct me if I'm wrong. See if I can look it up real quick. Hall of Fame game 2024. Yeah, Chicago Bears, Houston Texans facing off. Wouldn't look to see many guys, people waiting to see Caleb Williams. A lot of conversation around him and his game. What do you think he'll be successful? What do you don't? I'm not a huge fan of Caleb Williams, but hey, I'd love to see the young man prove me wrong. Especially since the Bears don't play in the AFC, so the only way he'll really matter to me is if we play him in the Super Bowl, and I would love to see that. Definitely know we have the roster to make that happen. But the biggest question about our roster starts with this guy right here. Quarterback, QB1, number 4, Deshaun Watson. Everything we do to most people, especially a lot of the talking heads you see on TV, uh, revolves around him getting back to his Houston form. I don't think so. We showed last year with hell below average quarterback play basically for the season. We finished. We were the sixth best team in the NFL. I feel if he can give us average QB play, take care of the ball, don't turn the ball over, and just make plays when we need. Um, we can definitely improve on that sixth overall best team in the league performance we did last year. To me, the looming question is with these guys. Yeah, Miles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Not just those two specifically, but for me, it's all about the defense. Um, at home, amazing, historical, 85 Bears like. We were shutting people down at home. On the road, a lot to be desired. A lot to be desired. Just as great as we were at home playing defense, we were just that terrible on the road, and it cost us when we needed it most in the playoffs in Houston. Um, Only one player really rose to the occasion. That was JOK. But I have a lot of optimism for this season and us maintaining being our defense should travel this year. That's the thing. Two things that travel. People say travel in the NFL: defense and the running game. Hopefully, with the return of Nick Chubb, our running game will definitely travel. But defense, we need these guys to step up. Miles Garrett, the reigning defensive player of the year, um, needs to increase his leadership role. He stepped into. He definitely played. He definitely was. You could see his impact as a leader on the defense last season. That was felt. We need him even more this year. Last year to learn a new system. This year, hey, we got 10 of 11 starters coming back from last year's defense. 10 of 11. That's huge. That's huge. When you have that kind of continuity, communication shouldn't be an issue. There's some communication lapses, a lot on the road, especially, and in the secondary. This year, those should be minimized. It should definitely be minimized. When you got 10 of 11 coming back, um, the execution shouldn't be a problem. The small things. The small things. Now we can add more. You're used to the small. You're used to the basics should be covered. Shouldn't be a problem. Now we're looking to add more to your plate, and I think these guys are definitely built to handle that. Denzel, one of the best corners. There's a lot of debate on whether he's the top 5, top 10, top 15 corner. And the PFF had him. I think they had him at 15 exactly. I think that's disrespectful. I definitely think that at worst Denzel's top 10. And you look at the body of work he's put together. The man was an All-Pro as a rookie. You look at the thing like he's probably done the best job in defending Jamar Chase. They matched up quite often, twice a year since Chase has been in the league, and Chase really has not had like that game against the Browns or Denzel. Matter of fact, covering Jamar, Denzel, picked up Joe Burrow one, took it to the house, it was 99 yards. So he's done an excellent job in covering some of the best receivers in this game. I feel having him outside of the top 10 corners, yeah, to me, is disrespectful. Our secondary as a whole, I would rate definitely high, especially last season with Grant Delpit picking it up. Grant Delpit picked it up. To me, he was having a Pro Bowl type season. I know the Pro Bowl doesn't have the same impact that it did once upon a time, but just in name, he had a Pro Bowl type season. Potentially like All Pro. I wouldn't have not been upset had he made like a second team All Pro. He was having that kind of impact before the injury bug bit him like it did a lot of our players. Juan Thornhill, I need him to step up. There was a lot of hope for him coming over. But if you look in our history, our previous strong safety free agent signing was John Johnson III. You're kind of teetering, bro. You're teetering. Like, you have to have, like, this season, I need you to outperform John Johnson. You see, we got him up out of here. You were brought in to be better than that. Right now, you're giving me about the same thing. And when he first got here, he was barking at the fans a little bit, asking us to not be so pessimistic, quote unquote. Won't quote. I can't quote him verbatim, but that was the gist of it. He didn't like a lot of the fans' wait and see attitude. Felt that we should have been more supportive right away. What he doesn't understand is, as being a lifelong Cleveland fan, is um, it's a wait and see city because we've seen so much disappointment. We are that way because we've seen so much disappointment. We've seen so many players not perform, not live up to. Um, but and and look at the prime example. He did not live up to it last year. He didn't live up to all that talk back and forth with the fans before the season started. He had some moments. He did make some plays. I give him that. But overall, um, come on, Juan. I need some more. And I definitely need more on the road. Need you to be a leader. Continue to be a leader in that locker room. Continue to lead the secondary. More importantly, we need you on the field. Need to stay healthy, big buddy. Because we all know what this defense can be, but we need that defense to be that for 17 games, not 8. Um, because along with that, national media, man, national media disrespect is real, and they can call it what they want to. Like PFF has called us, and take it with a grain of salt, take it as you will. But PFF did their overall roster ratings. We were top three rosters in the NFL. Be mad if you want, but they backed it up on the field last year. We had the sixth best record in the NFL. Yes, we were a wild card team, but we still had the sixth best record in the NFL. By NFL standards, we should have had a home playoff game. By NFL rules, we weren't so lucky. We had to go on the road, play the Texans when the Texans should have been coming to Cleveland. So again, number 6, we beat top teams in this league, and with that comes the disrespect. FanDuel releasing their preseason NFL Power Rankings, and look all the way down the list, you see right there, got the Cleveland Browns at number 22. Number 22, right behind the New York Football Giants. Are you serious, FanDuel? I mean, I don't know if you're trying to get your betting lines together and you're just trying to start some controversy, or you're trolling, or what, man. But yeah, that's not cutting it. We were literally the 6th best team in the league last year and haven't lost a lot of our main cogs. They're all still in place. Quarterback still in place. Our top wide receivers still in place. Tight end still in place. Matter of fact, we added to the wide receiver room. Offensive line still intact. Matter of fact, we got some starters who we had lost last year back this season. Defense, as I just told you, 10 out of 11 starters coming back. The only person who's not coming back was our middle linebacker, Mr. Walker, who we actually replaced with potentially a better middle linebacker, and Jordan Hicks. Like, how did we get worse? And you look at the teams ahead of the Giants, non-playoff team, but you have them ahead of us. Chargers, non-playoff team, but you have them ahead of us. They have a new head coach. They lost 3 to 4 weapons on offense, lost some faces on defense, but somehow they improved. Jacksonville Jaguars, non-playoff team, got them ahead of us. Atlanta Falcons, non-playoff team, but you got them ahead of us. Chicago Bears, worst team in the NFL, but somehow they're a better football team than us right now. Matter of fact, they're 6 spots better than us. Make it make sense, FanDuel. Like, make it make sense. Make sense. Houston Texans, got no problem with that ranking. They're a playoff team, but I think that's a little bit low for them. Keep going. New York Jets. You got the New York Jets at 6. Again, non-playoff team. We have no idea what they would have been with Aaron Rodgers, but I can tell you what they were. What they were last year. They weren't a playoff team, and you have them over several playoff teams. Same with the Cincinnati Bengals. Lost their quarterback. Yeah, you could say it was because of it. Even when Joe Burrow was there, they weren't at the top of the league. They were behind the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, go check it. Even with Joe Burrow last year, they were behind us. As a matter of fact, go look at Joe Burrow's history against the Cleveland Browns. He's only beaten us one time in a game that meant anything. So how can you have this team that missed the playoffs, finished last in the division? Why? Because we sent 3 teams to the playoffs, and you put them above, especially with losses they have. Like, make it make sense, FanDuel. With 1, 2, 3, and 4, can't really argue because in my power rankings, I would probably have them in the same places. But yeah, FanDuel just it just doesn't make sense. Too many holes, too many, and it is what it is. I will show you guys how to do it. I'll show you guys how to do it next week when the Game Time 216 first official power rankings come out. Show you guys how it's done. But yeah, training camp and the good guys down in Greenbriar, West Virginia. Last couple of days, they had some weather concerns. Practices were moved around, but yesterday they were able to get some 7-on-7 work done. We're able to get some 11-on-11 work done. Deshaun Watson has looked good. From everything I've heard, his timing looks good with the receivers. He's getting the ball out of his hands quicker, which means the offense is progressing. It's picking it up. Everybody's picking it up quick. In order for the quarterback to play at his best, all the parts around him have to be at their best. Receivers, their routes have to be on time. They have to be in certain spots for me to deliver the football, or I have to have the faith that I can anticipate the throw as a quarterback to just throw it without them being there, knowing that they will get there. So it was hearing, people say, "Oh, training camp, this doesn't mean anything." No, it means a lot. If it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't do it. It would be a waste of time. If you've ever played sports, especially football, I'm sure you've heard a coach tell you this in your life: you play how you practice, and you practice how you play. So yeah, it means something, and yeah, it doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to get the results that we want during the regular season, but you want to hear certain things out of practices. When you hear things like the ball being delivered on time, hands getting out of the quarterback, that means look into what that means. Routes are being ran properly. In order for that to happen, I'm getting the protection I need. In order for that, like, read into it, my footwork, there are a lot of moving parts that go into something as simple as the quarterback's getting the ball out of his hands quick. That means that there's a flow to the offense. There's a flow and a rhythm to the play calling so far. So I love what I'm hearing. Health concerns. Not a lot of health concerns so far. Obviously, we heard about Greg Newsome last week. Opting to have a procedure done, so we want him to get back. Lots of speculation on Nick Chubb, his availability coming into the season. A lot of people are assuming or hopeful that he'll be ready for week 1. I think I'm more looking for like week 4. I would rather have Nick Chubb for the latter half of the season than the beginning. I think we can survive the beginning of the season without him. So, if you want to look at those first couple of games, obviously the Cowboys, Jaguars, Giants. First week, Cowboys, Jaguars, Giants, Raiders. I think we can get by those games without Nick Chubb. Bring him in for the Commanders, which would be a light game, because then we got the Eagles, Bengals, and the Ravens after that. So that gives him a couple of games to kind of get into the rhythm before we hit what's looking like the big boy part of our schedule, which would be Eagles, Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, Saints not so much, but we got Steelers, Broncos, Steelers, that little 3-week thing, what you want to call it. But yeah, I don't rush it back. I'd rather him come back as close to 100% as possible than try and rush him back for some early season games. So that's just my opinion, though. The one person I do want to be there, Sean. I need you. I need him week 1. So, like I said, everything I've heard is everything's looking good. I know some people were overblown. I guess it was a situation where he skidded a ball into the nets and then came off the field, and a couple of talking heads out there kind of blew it out of proportions. Oh, something's wrong. Something must be wrong. No, it's been raining where they are. for the last 3 days. Like the ball, like it's tough to grip football. So I wouldn't look much into it. Some of the quality media reporters, aka American Cabot, they're not concerned at all about that situation. So, but like I say, he's looking good. The team's looking good. Uh, I'm just keeping an eye on surprise people like Cedric Tillman. I've heard great things about Cedric Tillman. I was hearing great things about him in the mini camps leading up. So if there's a guy that I have my eye on, Browns fans be on the lookout for Cedric Tillman. He may be. A lot of people assume that Amari Cooper, this may be his last season as a Brown. If Cedric Tillman takes that step, he may be the guy that runs Amari Cooper out of town. Hey, don't shoot. Hey, don't. I'm not predicting anything, but the better he performs, it makes people expendable. You know, it's just how the nature of the business. And remember, next year we do have our first round draft pick for the first time in a while, so it would be easy to replace an Amari Cooper. Again, don't shoot the messenger, man. It's the nature of the business. We see it happen all the time. But yeah, keep an eye on Cedric Tillman. I like what I'm hearing about some of the young guys. Zenter, O-Lyman, seeing him put work in. Mike Hall, like what I'm hearing from Miles Garrett about him. These guys paying attention there in the books and studying film, learning how to be pros. And as we all know, hell, at most, Center would probably be the most useful because we know how we've rotated offensive linemen over the last couple of years, and knock on wood, well, we can have a little bit healthier run this season on our offensive line, and we won't have to use so many young guys, especially since our key to success on the offensive line for the last couple of years has been in coaching and Bill Callahan, and we don't have him anymore. So shout out to those guys putting on the works, but those are just some of the guys that have been hearing a little bit extra about so far this training camp. This week they should be wrapping up at the Greenbriar, and they should be back in Berea next week, which is when Game Time will be back, people. Like I said, thank you for joining me today, for tuning in. We are back. It's been a while. Had a little on my plate. Remember, you can catch me on Fridays in Audible. Check that out too. Hit me on social, Audible_Bobby G. And if this is your first time checking me out or seeing me on anything, and you like what you hear, do me a favor. Go ahead and follow. Go ahead and follow the directions on your screen. And go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new. Turn your notifications on so you know the next time I am here bringing you that good news, which will be every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. I appreciate you all for joining me and listening to me. Shout out to my guest today, Sam. Missed the first down to you and talking about Guardians. I'll be back next week. We'll talk more Guardians. We'll talk more Browns as they're back in Berea. Again, next week will be the first edition of GameTime216 top 10. I'm not going to do the whole league. I'm just going to do top 10 power rankings next week. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll see. We'll see if anybody special stops by next week. But until then, let's say you catch me here next week, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. If you want more, Bobby G, you can catch me and the homie, KC Wildcard Mar, every Friday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, on Audible Sports Podcast, where life meets sports and culture. And you can also catch me on the Let's Talk Sports Network, talking basketball in the hoop, and that is 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. So those 3 outlets, catch me. But until next time, thanks for tuning in. Peace.